Hey everyone, happy Monday. Happy June 8th, 2026. We've got a new set of details for the next Genesis points update for Yu-Gi-Oh! So I wanted to talk about that quickly before we do our speedruns afterwards. But yeah, before we get into the Genesis discussion, reminder that I have my marathon run for GD Graphics Juneteenth on the 19th for Soten Rando. And this upcoming Sunday is going to be my run for RPG Limit Breaks Hidden Encounters. And it's going to be Afterimage, the pyro category. We look forward to both of those runs. Info can be found from the marathon commands. And once Nightbot replies, you'll be able to see. So let's get into the Genesis discussion. That's the meat and potatoes of what we want to talk about right now. Man, yeah, this was just dropped not long ago, maybe like an hour by now, over an hour ago. Yeah, I am not very happy with this update. There are some good changes for sure, but mostly disappointment for me. I feel like this points update in particular, unlike the last one, at least the last one, I could come to terms with it after, the initial blog post where they're like prefacing the point update and talking about kind of the upcoming things that would happen. That one was more disappointing than the actual points update. The actual points update ended up being okay for the most part. This one, on the other hand, I don't know if I can say the same. This one like has some good changes, but then the changes that aren't there and some of the changes that are even there are just such a great disappointment. The main thing I have trouble with right now, and that I'm at odds with, in accordance with how they've handled Genesis ever since the kind of initial presentation of it to the public, is they're so adamant on pointing based on card popularity, when I feel like they're like worshiping it a little too much. There's certainly a degree of card popularity that should be taken into consideration, but then at what point do you start to implement like proper reasoning and proper like thought process behind why those cards will be played and what kind of strategies those cards are facilitating for why they might be problematic? Because I do think that some of the cards that are popular are not necessarily popular because of those individual cards, but because of the concepts they represent, or because of the niches they fill for the decks that play them. And that's something I hope that they can change tune on going forward. But honestly, seeing them implement changes like this twice in succession is not very reassuring. And again, I think this points update, my feelings are much worse than the last one comparatively. Well, we can get into it now. So, as we all know, YCS Columbus took place recently, and yeah, RDA was the deck that won, and was among one of the most popular decks, as I mentioned here. Monarchs, Dooms, and Dark Lords were also pretty popular over there, and Radiant Typhoon, Clown Crew, Magnet Warriors, and Mimical were noteworthy picks that Duelists took to that tournament. RDA and Radiant Typhoon apparently were the most successful decks. 4 Duelists each in the top 32 and 2 in the top 8. Hey, what's up, Robbo? Thanks for the good luck and have fun. Yeah, there's going to be Afterimage later. I just wanted to get my... I wanted to, like, let the feelings wear off and have my thoughts collected somewhere on this Yu-Gi-Oh! Genesis update, because they just dropped it, like, literally an hour ago, so... But yeah, hope you're doing well. Hope the Crimson Desert and Neo were fun the past couple days. So yeah, they're clumping together cards based on these high-performing decks from the Columbus event. And first of all, we got Crimson Blade Dragon to 10, Power Vice Dragon to 6 from 5, Dark Lord Jehudi to 5, Eidos the Underworld Monarch to 5, Mimical Dungeon to 5, and Radiant Typhoon Crusea to 7. I think most of these changes are actually fine. Perhaps a bit underhanded, or not underhanded, a bit light on the points they're assigning for these respective decks based on the reasoning they gave. Especially because some of these decks are a bit problematic. Like, I still think Monarchs Monarchs are completely fine with Eidos being at 5. Like, that deck is such a strong engine, and it still has an unbelievable advantage going first. And it can still go second very well as well because of the board breaking capabilities with, you know, Monarch Stormforth and previously Spellcard Soul Exchange as well. They didn't really need that many pushes to be able to go second. And then going first, they rip your hand and set up pretty durable bodies on the board that make them hard to kill. But regardless, I mean, the engine was so underpointed previously that you could just slot in pot of greeds for fun, basically. So I'm glad they're kind of addressing that by pointing one of the engine cards, but this feels like pretty light still. I don't know if this is enough. I feel like Monarch's still very playable. Monarch being playable is not inherently a bad thing. In fact, I think it's a pretty solid advertisement for Genesys, because they've already mentioned that they want Genesys to be the place where, you know, old school players can get back into the game. And I feel like Monarchs are a great encouragement of that. But at the same time, this deck this deck definitely needs more hits than just Eidos. I don't know, like some of the Monarch cards are pretty old, so they don't have hard once per turn, so it's just so easy for that deck to play through lots with just the engine, which is fine. It's not a bad thing, but it needs to have points that adequately match that ability to do so. Meanwhile, Dark Lord getting points for Herald Sins, and we're gonna see later on for Exodia Sins. Like, this is just some nonsense, and obviously worth establishing that I have Dark Lord bias here. That's my favorite archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh! But this is just unbelievably tone deaf. Like, Dark Lord as a deck is fine. Like, yeah, it is kind of underpointed, but it's not underpointed because of cards like Jehudi or cards like, if anything, actually, Evening Star would have been an appropriate or reasonable card to hit, like, just for my thinking. Jehudi's not a card that's of major concern, especially if you're already going to hit the Heralds to begin with. Like, Jehudi's fine. You see some people probably playing Jehudi in other decks just to be able to search the Forbidden quick plays, but I don't think that's really a bad thing. Like, they're playing a brick in their deck just to be able to search Forbidden quick play, whereas Dark Lords are getting access to their whole engine. So that's much more value in Dark Lords, but I don't think hitting this card is the right thing to do. And also, like, playing multiple copies of this card, you still want to do it, obviously, in pure Dark Lord, but the reason why playing multiple copies of this card was really good to begin with was because of the Heralds, because you get so much value off of pitching this for the Herald cost and going plus off of it, right? Like, if you're going to point the Heralds, it's not as incentivized to run 3 copies of this card. Maybe you'd run 2 at that point. So this is not really the right hit if you wanted to hit Dark Lord specifically, but this is clearly a hit because it's popular. It's not really because they understand why the deck is performing so well. And the Heralds are the main reason why it's performing so well in this format. So it's just a really disappointing hit, this one. Power Vice Dragon to 6. Yeah, I mean, this card is really good. I'm surprised they actually only increased it by 1 point, but I don't think RDA really needed that many additional hits to begin with. They just need to decrease the amount of non-engine that deck can fit, to be honest, and that's the extent to which I believe the deck needs hits. But I don't think it needs to be like nuked off orbit or anything. A lot of decks have a hard time playing through the RDA inboard because it's just multiple field-wide banishes. And there's a lot of protection on the boss monsters, but I don't know if they need to hit the deck super aggressively. So this is reasonable to me. Although I kind of expected this to be hit by more than just 1 point each, so I'm surprised about that one. Crimson Blade Dragon to 10 is pretty reasonable. No complaints about that one. This is the card that I think is being used for what's it called? Searching Levineer. So they didn't point Levineer, interestingly, which I guess, sure. I mean, this is the card that searches it, so this card is definitely getting probably more value than it should. But I don't feel like this card is like that insane anyway, so it's like whatever. All right, and then Mimical Dungeon to 5, Radiant Typhoon Crusade to 5. Like, these are just popularity hits. Mimical's gonna be fine with Dungeon at 5. I mean, Dungeon is a very obnoxious card. Don't get the wrong idea. Like this, this card like locks your opponent out of playing the game partially when Mimigal sets up shop, but like Mimigal will be fine with this card at 5. And then same thing with Radiant Typhoon. I mean, actually, Radiant Typhoon, I don't know if they'll be as fine with this card at 7. Like, they already had Chant and Vision hit in a meaningful enough way. So yeah, having points on Corsair definitely hurts as well. But this deck was already kind of fading away from the meta, so I don't know why they necessarily hit this. Again, this is just why the popularity philosophy, when you do hits just based on popularity, you're gonna miss a lot of like intricacies and nuances about the format that are taking place, which is why like this kind of hit is really tone deaf. Like, it's not necessary to do this. All right, and then individual card outliers. Most played card in the tournament is Illusion Gate. Surprise, surprise. I mean, it's 0 points. That's why people are playing it. A lot of people are coming out of the woodwork saying Illusion Gate's not that good. And I can understand where they're coming from, but you got to realize that it's not just about what the card does in a vacuum. It's about how much it costs. And if it costs nothing to play a card that reads the way Illusion Gate reads, like, you're gonna play it. It doesn't matter. Like, there's not much else better to play at 0 points. So it's no surprise that it's being played so much. And the fact that it was 0 points to begin with was complete silliness. Like that. You can't even call that one an oversight. You just gotta call it how it is. That is clear card pushing, new card pushing right there. No one happy with this list, for real, man. For real, Reiki. It's a travesty, dude. Like this is just, you don't even need to give reasoning. Just stop right there. Just say, yeah, most played card, and you can stop right there. Now we're gonna see the points later on for this card, but I think they actually pointed it too highly. I feel like at 5 points, people would stop playing this card. I'm not even joking about that one. This card was mainly being played because it was 0 points. Like 5 points, I think, would be like the upper bound for people to stop playing it. But 10, sure, I'll take it. I mean, makes sense to me. Dark Hole, they noted Dark Hole, Slayer, and Final Bringer, but they did not point any of these cards, which I'm fine with personally. Like, I have no problems with that. Slayer, I thought they would increase the points on, because it was clear to me that this card was still performing very well at 1 point, even without the best in slot extra deck package to pair with it. But I'm also not necessarily disappointed that they did not increase it. Dark Hole and Final Bringer as well. I'm glad they didn't increase those. Those cards I think should remain at their. I mean, this is 0 right now, and Dark Hole's 1 point. I think those cards are perfectly fine, and they're solid identifier, or not identifier. They're solid how do I say it? They're cards that allow for Genesis to, you know, distinguish itself in its identity from a format like Advanced. I think they're like you know, especially Final Bringer is a very versatile card. Allows you to, you know, potentially dodge interaction and can fulfill itself as a board breaker or even as a back row that's part of your end board if you're going first. I love this card. And then they mentioned various kaijus not named Gameciel, and then they singled out Gameciel for whatever reason, as if they had some like Giga Brain, you know, like, oh, we've cracked the code. Gameciel is being played because it has lower attack than any other kaiju. Like, just completely corny, man. Like, what? Like, what is this? If you hit Gameciel, people are just gonna play the other kaijus. Like, it doesn't really matter that much. The attack value, like, as long as you get rid of one of their inboard pieces, then you've done the work, and then you can just pop the kaiju if it's really a problem. Like, I don't really get why they're talking about Gameciel in specific. It's not even a good attribute. It's a water attribute. Like, like, okay, sure, if Gameciel were like a dark attribute or a light attribute, I can understand them singling it out. But it's not even like a favorable attribute. It's just a kaiju. Like, this is why the popularity angle and just looking at it just looking at the popularity in a vacuum is just completely naive. Like, this sort of thing can easily bring the entirety of this format down, and I'm afraid that it might indeed do that. All right, usage spikes, non-engine. A few non-engine cards saw a massive jump in play. The Heralds seen a 10 times increase in users since February's Proto YCS. Like, the Heralds have been seeing play for a while now. Like, basically ever since the, I want to say the Burst Protocol update. Like, basically people just figured out, like, oh, this is a 0-point hand trap. Let me build a deck around the fact that this is a 0-point hand trap. Like, that's what people are doing with the Heralds. And it's been for much longer than what they're saying that this has been a thing people have been trying out. Like, people are literally playing that branded fairy build just because of the Heralds. Cooltoon can jam in a bunch of Heralds because they have access to numerous amounts of fairies as well. And they're even playing additional fairies that they wouldn't normally play to be able to make the Heralds better, such as Mudora and Keldo, the shufflers from Ishizu cards. Let's see. Yep, increase in decks use fairy monsters, but this is like, if you just say this, like, this is missing the point, because people are playing these decks strictly for the Heralds. It's not like they're playing these decks and it just so happens that they can fit the Heralds in, like, oh, I guess these decks can squeeze the Heralds in, and yeah. No, these and these are not even like pet decks necessarily. These are just fairy decks that are favorable for playing Herald hand traps. And then they're like, okay, let's talk about D-Fissure. We know a lot of people have been, I don't know how to pronounce this word, ringing. I think it is ringing. Let me get IPA. Yeah, it's ringing. Okay. I think I've seen this word before, but yeah, it's confusing. Like ringing. Okay, yeah. Thanks. Ringing their hands over this card since Genesys launch, but its actual usage rate has been extremely low in all extremely low in all the actual deck data thus far. What? Like, dude, the way they're saying this is like that like one friend you have in like your middle school class that is like trying to be extremely contrarian to be like cool and stuff. Like, oh, I don't do what everyone else does. Like, like, what is this? What is this? Well, why does the usage rate matter? Does the card facilitate healthy gameplay? If it doesn't, then hit it. Like, you don't want it to be in a situation where people are using it at an alarming usage rate. Just hit the darn card, man. Like, stop it before it becomes a problem, so that you don't get people to leave the format. Like, for real, man. And then they're like, until YCS Columbus, as if they're, you know, dude, this is just so corny. Like, I'm sure they're okay. Here's the thing, right? To give the benefit of the doubt, like, they're trying to work with like reputable data, right? So they're probably not looking at like all the little, you know, deck lists people are posting on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck, or, you know, locals data, or, you know, even the Genesys Discord servers tournaments or stuff like that, right? Like, they're probably trying to filter the data a little bit so that they don't have, you know, data from people just trying to force pet decks or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, this card is a format warping card, and it's been this way ever since the start of Genesys. Like, people noticed that this card was 0 points and have been trying to fit it in decks. Like, people were using it to stop hand traps from resolving. Like, that's been a thing since the beginning. It's not like it's all of a sudden becoming a popular card because, oh, you know, people have now realized that this hidden gem of a card is a good card. No, people have known it from the beginning. The most reviled card in the format. See, they knew. They know, but they're just trying to be like they're just trying to be like opposite for no reason. They know that people don't like this card. Had an event where its reputation and its registration numbers started to align. Though even with the massive spike, it still didn't reach 20% of all decks. Still being up in the high teens is enough to finally get it on the radar and get some points. And then, before you ask, D-Shifter continues to decline in use with every event. No, we aren't playing to lower its points, but an increase isn't justified by the data either. We continue to watch every bit of data on these two cards very closely. So basically, people gotta play cards that they don't want to play, and people got to play in a format that's very repulsive in order to just to make this card basically get shot behind the barn. Like, it's just unbelievable, dude. People have been complaining about the gameplay that these cards create for a very long time, and everyone knows that D-Shifter is a problem in advanced. In advanced, D-Shifter is at 1. Like, I know that the bar is quite low for Konami in general, like with cards that get hit, and you know, sometimes they leave the card at 1 and forget about it, but even in advanced, they know that it's a problem and put it at 1 at the bare minimum. And obviously, it being at 1 versus at 3 is a big difference. With a card that's unsearchable like this, it'd be better off banned, obviously, but hey, we'll take what we get, you know. But in Genesys, you can play 3 of them because 10 points is not enough to discourage you from doing it. Clearly not enough as well, because people were literally playing decks like Mimigul and Dooms and Exosister just because they can play Shifter. And those decks aren't necessarily that good. Like, Mimigul is pretty solid, and it's not really because of Shifter alone. There's stuff like a Bot Herder that allows the deck to be a lot stronger than it should be otherwise. If you guys don't know what Bot Herder does, it's like the most broken board breaker of all time. For Mimigul, this reads take control of your opponent's whole board, pretty much. Non-targeting, so it's kind of obnoxious. But apart from Mimigul, other decks like Exosister and Dooms. Okay, Dooms is kind of... I don't want to talk about it like in this context maybe as much, because there's a little bit more to that. Like, that deck is still good on its own merits. But for Exosister, I think that deck is perfectly fine. Like, it's a well-balanced power level, but Shifter is what takes it over the top. The fact that it can play Shifter and D-Fissure is what takes it over the top. Obviously, the inboard it makes is still nothing to scoff at, but it also gets easily broken by 1 Ultima Slayer or 1 Kaiju, so not a big deal. But yeah, this type of stuff is just extremely frustrating. You guys are fortunate you didn't have my immediate raw reaction to this, because I was just like, okay, man. And then, yeah, Nibiru, they increased the points on it, but people are still playing it in an abundance. So, yeah, it's not surprising that they're going to increase Nibiru as well. So let's take a look. So Book of Eclipse to 4. Yeah, this makes sense. Book of Eclipse was probably the best board breaker last format, other than Illusion Gate. Well, Illusion Gate only because it was 0 points, but other than that, Book of Eclipse is probably the best board breaker. It makes sense they're increasing it back to 4. Meanwhile, Book of Moon going to 3. I like this a lot too. Book of Moon's a really cool card. I unfortunately don't have my old Book of Moon copies anymore, so I'll have to find them somewhere from like a bulk pile, but I think people will start playing this at 3 points. I mean, people were already playing it a little bit at 4 points, but at 3 points, people will for sure play it. It's a targeted... I mean, I was going to say targeted Book of Moon. That's so funny. It's because the card is so... the card is so... what's it called? Famous, I guess. The card is so famous that, you know, we call effects that flip face down Book of Moons. But anyway, yeah, targeted flip face down is very valuable. D-Fissure to 10, this should be like 50, to be honest. 50 minimum. Like, 100 is better, but 50 minimum. At 10, people will still play this, I'm sure. Now, it won't see as much play for, like, obviously, because if you're side decking this, like, it's not worth it. So people won't randomly put it in their side deck anymore. But people will still play it in decks that are not, or don't have their main strategy interfered by having their monsters banished. So, yeah. But to their credit, I guess I won't see widespread play anymore, but you're still going to lose to it if it occurs. And people will definitely be incentivized to try to play decks that can jam this. Gamseal to 3 is the completely baffling one. Like, again, this is again why the data-based, popularity-based pointing philosophy is just not it, man. Like, people are just gonna go to the next kaiju. No one's gonna spend 9 points on a water kaiju when they can just play the other kaijus that do the same thing. This is just completely nonsensical. And it hurts my deck as well, this Fairy Tale Charmers pile, because, well, this is not the exact build I have right now, but I want to give them the water kaiju so that I can target it with Possessed Destiny. Or, is this Resonance? It's supposed to be Possessed Destiny. Anyway, I target it with Possessed Destiny and bring out Spiritual Art Familiars. And then that way I can go into the rest of the Charmers combo and the Fairy Tale combo. But now I can't do that as easily. I mean, I can still do it. Fairy Tale has no points. Charmers have no points either. So I can still do this, but I don't know if I would be willing to spend 3 points on Gamma Seal. Illusion Gate to 10. This is a good hit, but maybe a bit overboard. I don't think anyone will play this at 10 points. Shared Ride to 1. They didn't talk about this in here, but this is a good hit. Like, I like this. So now we can stop losing to Budget Droll for going first. I don't think people will play this card at 1 point. Lancia to 1. I think people will still play Lancia at 1 point, unfortunately. This card is definitely an obnoxious floodgate. It's meant to... I can't even say what it's meant to do. I mean, all the artifact cards are just kind of goofy like this. But in terms of how it's used in Genesis, you just use this to stop pretty much all forms of banishing. And this ends up killing like a ton of decks out of nowhere. I mean, I can list them, but there's not really any reason to. Like, so many random decks just get killed by this. I think primarily people had this in the side deck for Monarchs, though. Because Monarchs, you can't really run hand traps that effectively stop them. Monarchs don't really get stopped by any single hand trap in particular. But Lancia is the one that kind of stops them. They can't get graveyard value from banishing the spell traps, which stops them from extending really far. So that's a big deal. But I don't think losing to Lancia is that profound. There's no thought process behind playing Lancia. You just play it and then you activate it. You can shotgun it basically if you wanted to, or you can chain it to the effect that banishes on res. And there's not really any strategy behind it. You just do it and your opponent can't play. But I don't think 1 point is enough to discourage people from running it, especially if Monarchs are still going to be running around in the format. And beyond Monarchs, I mean, there's so many other decks that get killed by Lancia, so... Unfortunately, while this is definitely well-informed to have hit, I don't know if it's enough. And I'm not as mad about this because I don't really think... It's like a tough card to hit, basically. Like, everyone's playing it in their side deck, but then if you're not as in tune with why players are playing it, then you might not understand why, right? You just see it in a bunch of side decks and you're like, huh, I see, you know? But yeah, they're probably like, I hope they would consider hitting this again if people still play it in as much of a frequency. So I hope they're not committed to just hitting it at 1 and then forgetting about it. All right, and then the Herald's very disappointing. Like, I think people will still play Herald decks. This is not enough. And why did they even point Purple Light? Like, Purple Light barely even matters. Realistically. Like, if you lose to Purple Light, like... I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, this is such like a really... This is a really weird card to play in your deck. No, it doesn't really matter the format. Like, why would you play this? Like, I guess Eldritch or... Labyrinth would have to be super meta. Yeah, Labyrinth woes, yeah. Like, those decks would have to be super meta for you to be willing to play this. And even then, you wouldn't main deck it, you'd side deck it. Like, I feel like this is tone deaf. And that's why, like, Purple Light being on here kind of confirms me that they don't understand the Heralds that well. Because these other Heralds are also super underpointed. Like, I think Orange Light should be 5 minimum, and Green Light 3 minimum. Like, Green Light especially is a lot more obnoxious than I think people really talk about. Like, this card out of nowhere stops some board breakers and stops some of your opponent's stars. Like, speaking from my personal perspective, playing against some Herald decks, I would activate Grand Circle and be like, oh, you know, activate Grand Circle. they have to have Schoolmeister, or they have to have DD Crow to be able to stop it, right? Nope, they just have the green light, and I just lose, you know? And there's several other examples of it. It's not just Grand Circle, obviously. Like you stop a magnet bonding, you can stop a board breaker, as I mentioned. You can stop a Dark Lord dance, you know? And there are still plenty of spells in the current game that say use instead of activate. So you just get completely destroyed by a green light negating it. Yeah, this is extremely disappointing. I've already kind of let out most of my frustrations, so obviously I'm not gonna like belabor it further right now, but yeah, I think anyone that really is familiar with the format can understand that these are not pointed highly enough. Now, will they see as widespread play as they did before? Probably not. But again, I don't think this is enough to disincentivize people from specifically playing decks that can make use of heralds. Because honestly, like just think about the hand traps that exist right now in the format. Heralds do quite a bit for the supposed cost of having to play a fairy deck, and the fairy decks available are not even that bad, right? But then couple that with the fact that they're just lower points than the other hand traps. Like they're lower points than Ogre, lower points than Mourner, lower points than Bell, and obviously lower points than Veiler, Nibiru, and Ash, and it goes up from there. So, and you're getting a lot of value from them in the decks that you're playing them in. Like you can go plus half of them potentially, and for that matter, they're not once per turn at all. So yeah, I don't think this is enough to stop people from playing them. I think, again, orange light need to be 5 minimum, green light need to be 3 minimum. Purple light doesn't even need to be on here at all. If purple light's a problem, then purple light's literally not a problem. Like it would never be a problem. This is such an angular card. Like, anyway, Fulos to 8, agreeable. I actually think this card probably should be 9 or 10. This is not advanced. People really shouldn't be playing this card. You shouldn't incentivize people to play this card. And if it's incentivized for people to play this card, that means you got to take a look at the decks that people are playing in the format. Perhaps the combo slop is a little too slop, right? So you got to hit those combo slop decks. But yeah, this is probably the right move still. Nibiru to 8 is understandable as well. This is one of the best hand traps in the whole format. Increasing it to 6 points actually just made people even more aware that it was a good card. I think people will still play it at 8. Obviously, it's Nibiru. This is a card that completely, like, even if this card is not being played, this completely changes how you build your deck. Because you got to build your deck to be able to not lose to Nibiru. Now, unfortunately, and I already saw the rest of this, obviously. Unfortunately, not seeing Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon on here does mean that this won't change too much for synchro decks, because they'll still try to bring this out before the 5th summon, and then it doesn't even matter that Nibiru's increased. So I'm a bit disappointed to not see this card on the points list. It doesn't even need to be pointed that highly. It's just like 5 points or something is fine. It's a generic monster negate that inherently rips away interaction from the player going second. So, and it's 3,000 attack. It's a pretty beefy body. Obviously you can, Book of Moon it, you can Eclipse it, you can Dark Ruler. There's plenty of ways to, deal with it. But I think it still fulfills something they mentioned in some earlier blog posts talking about generic synchro boss monsters, basically stuff like Baron, cards of that kind. So anyway, talking about Blazing Dominion, Power Vice Dragon, blah blah blah, and they wanted to put at least one more extract monster in the 10 to 15 point range, possibly 2. They thought that Crimson Blade Dragon was appropriate for that, but I feel like this doesn't really matter that much. This card was mainly being used to search Levianeer for a hand rip, which, to be fair, that hand rip matters a ton, but RDA will be perfectly fine, which again, I'm also okay with. Like, I think RDA doesn't need to be hit that badly to begin with. If anything, they just need to curb the deck's ability to play an obscene amount of non-engine. Good non-engine at that, given how strong that end board is. They were worried about having overcosted Clown Crew, but it seems like Clown Crew did just fine from what I could tell. MBT was MBT seemed pretty just like, you know, disappointed with how Clown Crew performed when you took it to Columbus, but I think the deck is still like not that bad. And then they mentioned Wicked Avatar. I'm surprised they're mentioning that, by the way. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm glad they're getting ahead of it if they feel like it's something worth mentioning. It's obviously, you know, it's par for course at this point that some random floodgate that they didn't account for, like they had an oversight with, is being abused in this way. If they really feel like it's a problem, this should have already been 100 points just to prevent it from ever being an issue. But clearly, if it's not in the initial list, then they'll just never address it, right? Like, that's what we can see with Gravity Collapse. That's what we can see with Soundproofed, Mask of Restrict, Poisonous Winds, all these terrible floodgates that they still haven't hit. So, yeah. And yeah. All right, and then Miracle Ejector, true. This card is literally circular. Have you read this card, guys? Like, it's insane. Now you have to run some bricks, but I don't think hero players are unfamiliar with bricks. Like, they've had to run bricks since the dawn of time. Send a Neospatian from deck to grave, special from hand. If it's normal or special, you add a spell trap that mentions E hero. If it's sent to the grave, you target a card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it. And it's also treated as an E hero card, which means you can search it off of Emergency Call, and you can summon it off of a Hero Lives. Although I don't think people normally summon this off of Hero Lives. I think they summon Stratos still. Regardless, insane card. Like, this card is like Elemental Hero's dream card to have been released recently. Now, again, the only issue is having to play some Neospatian bricks. The Neospatian cards are really bad, but Aqua Dolphin is still Aqua Dolphin. That's still a hand rip. So, can't be that bad. And the gaping problem with this deck is obviously the Cosmoneos FTK, pseudo FTK. And supposedly they're addressing that, but I already saw the points they gave to it, and we'll talk about it later, but I think it's not enough. It's insufficient. To me, if you're a hero player, there's no reason not to still play Cosmoneos. But anyway, talking about Miracle Ejector, they're specifically, I guess, okay, never mind. Anyway, Cool Tune being splashed in other decks. Spellcard Soul Exchange is acting like Super Poly. Okay, sure. I mean, if that's what gets them to point it higher, then I'm perfectly fine with that. Xyz decks efficient at spitting out F-Zeros, and Synchro decks are trending towards generic use of Chungying. Yeah, because Chungying is the problem, and not like other stuff like Crystal Wing, Synchro Dragon, and you know, like the cards that like actually lead to advantage, right? Like Chungying is fine. Like, it's so easy to out. Like, it just can't be destroyed by card effects, but alright, I mean, it can be, but I think you just replacement effect. But like, it's not that hard to out. Like, the hardest thing about it to out is that you can't easily beat over it, but like, it can still be banished, it can still be bounced, it can still be Book of Moon. Like, you can still deal with it in all the traditional ways. And like, this is hardly a problem. Like, Synchro deck summoning Chungying, I would not think is something to be concerned with personally, but okay. All right, and then we see some Mana Warriors hits. Linear Magnum plus minus to 6, Mana Bonding to 5. This is laughably, this is like laughably soft. But if this is the bare minimum we're to expect going forward with some of these new decks, then fine. I guess we'll take what we can get. Magna Warriors will be perfectly fine. Like, they don't even need to play that many copies of Magnum plus minus. Like, you can still play Duotarion and play Infernal, whatever that card is called. And then you still need 3 Magna Bonding, unfortunately, but I don't think losing 15 points on that is a big deal. So basically, at worst, your deck now costs 21 points if you're a Magna Warriors player. But again, I don't think that'll be a severe loss for them. Miracle Ejector to 5. This is like the least they could put this card at. Like, this card is so strong. Again, hero players will be fine. This is also probably what we would have expected for them to put Miracle Ejector at, so no complaints really there. Earthbound Prisoner Stone Sweeper to 5. This also makes sense to me. This card was like a consistency card for searching Fiends, I guess, and was being used in a RDA, and there was another deck I forgot I was using it, but yeah. This makes sense. Keldo to 2 makes sense. Honestly, yeah. Even without the Heralds, you know, I think 1 point was eventually going to be too few for the shufflers. So Keldo to 2 and Medora to 2 makes a lot of sense to me. No issues with that. Cooltoon Clip to 7, Q to 7, Mix to 5, Rico to 5. You know, yo, they're finally hitting Cooltoon off orbit. Like they could have they probably could have done this like much earlier, but they're finally just hitting the hammer on the deck. I think Cooltoon might be dead, folks. And someone will find a way to still play it, but this reads to me like it's kind of dead. So funny that it took them this long to hit the deck when it wasn't really that popular in this format. But I mean, it wasn't like it was bad either, so I'm not complaining. Heavy Poly to 3. I'm not sure what the context behind this is. But I don't know if I agree, to be honest. Like, going second, this card is way better than going first. Going first, this card is horrible. But going second, this card lets you get started. We gotta hit Dark Lords. Yeah, true, I guess. Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. I was using it in Dark Lords. I was actually also using it in a newer build of my Fairy Tale Charmers as well to bring out Charmers of the Grand Circle. Just to have an easier way to get into this going second and start breaking the board a little bit. But it didn't feel that good when I was using it like that. But yeah, I don't know. Heavy Poly doesn't make any sense to me being hit. Kind of reminds me of the OCG hit when they hit Polymerization. Not sure if I agree with this one. Spellguard Soul Exchange to 13. They're trading it like Super Polys, so I guess that makes sense. No complaints there. It's a Monarch hit. Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Chungying to 10. This is some nonsense, and I already mentioned why. Like, even if people are playing this in groves, like, or in droves, there's no reason to hit this card. This card is not a problem. You gotta look at and evaluate what the card is facilitating. Is the card facilitating any unhealthy gameplay, or is it causing like game states that are not allowing for there to be like a meaningful exchange of back and forth between the players? In my opinion, no, not at all. There's so many other cards to look at in these synchro combo slop decks that are problems, and Chungying is not one of them. Zaylin to 12 makes a lot of sense. What other synchro 10 can people make now? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't even know. I mean, I know for level 11, Duration is still really good, but not every deck can get to 11 very easily. I guess Dispotter if you have some dragons. Chaos Angel is still pointed, I believe. Yeah, that is a great question. Master Favorite card is non-tuner fairy, so that wouldn't be it. Ruddy Rose Dragon. Low-key. I mean, this card isn't bad, but I don't know if it's as good as Chungying. But honestly, it's not that bad. Yo, Stardust Warrior. Oh, yeah, they didn't hit Dirac Meteor, huh? I mean, no one's actually summoning this card anymore. People are just going into it off of goofball cards that send it to grave. I'm surprised they didn't hit it, actually. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, there's not really other cards that are as good as Okay, Satellite Warrior is pretty good, actually, too. Oh, no, never mind. I'm thinking of it. Never mind. Yeah, nah. There's not really another card as good as Chungying. I guess Ruddy Rose Dragon, maybe. But it kind of hurts you too, because it banishes cards in all graveyards. So I don't know. Zaylin to 12 makes sense. This card was definitely outperforming its points. UDF to 25. Whatever, man. Sure. Like, I don't disagree, but like, then you have Utopic Futures Exalt to 5. Yeah, that's totally gonna stop people from playing it. What? Oh my goodness. All right. At least one person trying to jam Exodia, trying to force it down the format. True. So are you just gonna hit Exodia then, or are you gonna do something else? Something else, because that seems about right. Yeah. You know what? All these times Exodia people have been trying to force it down. We're not gonna hit Exodia. Actually, we're just gonna hit all the other cards except Exodia, so that way people find another way to play Exodia. They say they want to get rid of FTKs, but they don't kill the card that is causing the FTK in the first place. It's like, it's just baffling, dude. Baffling. And the other contentious strategy was the hero deck that had Cosmo Neos filling the same role as Hot Red Dragon, Archfiend, and King Calamity. This is an interesting case because Cosmo Neos isn't being cheated out like King Calamity usually was. I mean, it is being cheated out. What? Like, what are they talking about? Like, have you guys seen all the summoning conditions on Cosmo Neos? They designed this card originally to not be abusable. Like, this card was basically originally designed to not even be abused. And then they printed favorite contact that just said, okay, ignore all the stuff that prevents you from cheating this out, basically. Like, ignore the summoning conditions, and then it doesn't return to the extra deck. Like, let me bring back the Cosmo Neo so that you can see the summoning condition. So you see all these like monsters you need, right? Must first be special summoned by shuffling the above cards you control to the deck, and you don't use polymerization. And it's special summoned and not fusion summoned, right? So you gotta have Elemental Hero Neos, the worst brick known to man, and then you gotta have 3 Neo Spatial monsters with different attributes. How are you gonna get those on the board like normally, right? Like, if you get those on the board, you're probably already winning. Not only are you probably already winning, your opponent was probably like falling asleep in their chair, sitting across from you. Because there's no way you're gonna get all this on the board. But then they printed favorite contact, and there's like, ignore all of that. In fact, not just ignore all of it, but you can do the contact fusion by shuffling, or no, not shuffling. I think it's placing from banishment, grave. Like they just allow you to just completely skip the steps for this card. And because it's on the trap, you can do it on your opponent's turn, and your opponent doesn't get to play. So like what is this? What kind of nonsense is it? It is being cheated out. Like favorite contact is literally reads that you ignore what Cosmo Neos was built to be like restrictive for. And they're even admitting this. The whole point of the hero combo is to correctly get the materials in the graveyard. Okay, they say graveyard though. But correct materials, like this is like some actually kind of nonsense. Like, it's, you know, it's like technically you're summoning it correctly because you're using the Elemental Hero Neos and the 3 different Neospatial attributes, but favorite contact is ignoring the summoning conditions. Favorite contact does not get points at this time. Okay, so 21 points for Cosmo Neos. People can still play this if they want to. How many points is Stratos? Isn't Stratos 0 right now? Stratos is 0. How about Emergency Call? 0. How about A Hero Lives? 0. So Miracle Ejector is the only card that's important that's pointed on here. They pointed Dark Law severely. because they're like, okay, this is like the hero win condition, right? But heroes are long past the days of Dark Law. They don't need Dark Law to win anymore. They have plenty of good cards nowadays. I mean, they still have Master Acid and Absolute Zero. Absolute Zero is still a great card, even if it doesn't trigger from it doesn't trigger off of being bounced anymore. But it's still a good card. If they destroy it or if it gets banished or anything like that, then it still triggers. And then Acid is back row wipe. So you can use mass change for that kind of thing. But like I don't know. I'd be more than willing to spend 21 points on NetTK personally, just for a free game, you know? I feel like that's a worthy cost. A worthy price to pay. And Miracle Ejector, you're playing that card regardless of whether it's 5 points or not. Like, that doesn't really change. So, since you're still playing Miracle Ejector at 15, spending 36 points for a free game, be my guest, you know? Like, perfectly fine. Like, why is this not 100 points? Why is it even 21 points? Like, what is the rationale here? Like, what are they like afraid of it being paired with to make it 21 points? Is it just because it's funny? Oh, I didn't even know Plasma was 20 points. Wow. Okay, well, I'm you know what? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll just say I don't know why it's 21 points, but that's a bad look. It's a really bad look. Absolutely, like, just blatantly obvious oversight. And I don't know if it's due to pride or, you know, just being contrarian for fun, but like, they just refuse to put cards at 100 points nowadays, or what? All right, Galaxy S TAC and Primal to 5. I like this hit, but not seeing Drag Luxian on here is pretty disappointing, because I don't even think this discourages people from playing this card in general. Like, people were splashing this card to search the Tachyon Transmigration for like one of the best Omni Negates in the game. So this card would, you know, you'd summon it and then you'd search this card. And because you control Galaxy S TAC and Primal, you can use it from your hand, or that's not true. Because you control Galaxy S TAC and Primal, you can use this card. And then if you control TAC and Dragon, you can use it from the hand. But the way to get to TAC and Dragon is through Drag Luxian, which is a generic rank 8 material, or level 8 materials, to be able to summon it. And this card not only searches you the TAC and Transmigration, but it also gets you straight to the Galaxy S TAC and Dragon in one card, because its other effect lets you cheat it out, basically. It's just completely goofball. I'm very surprised that they didn't point this. So pointing TAC and Primal doesn't really stop the root of the issue, which is the fact that people are searching TAC and Transmigration outside of the deck that it's meant for. This card, like, I'm not going to say this card is perfectly fine in Galaxy Eyes. Galaxy Eyes is a completely dumb deck when it goes first, uninterrupted. But it's more than reasonable for it to do it within its own deck's context, where it was designed for that, clearly, because it says if you control a Galaxy Eyes monster, rather than these new cards that were clearly not designed for it and just letting people do it generically. Like, Drag Luxian is a very clearly pushed problem card for this exact case, and they not so subtly made it generic materials to summon it. So very devious things at work there. But yeah, anyway, I'm still not disappointed with this particular hit, but I'm disappointed with the lack of seeing Drag Luxian on here. Ixchel to 7. Yeah, all right, so we're just gonna keep hitting Dark Lord because of dumb FDK decks. All right, I see how it is. Because Ixchel's the problem in that deck. Totally. Like, all right, and then I mentioned Chungying again, but no one was actually playing Sword Soul. True, because Sword Soul's overpointed. Lyra Lusk keeps showing up as an engine rather than distinct strategy, so we move some of those points around as well. Okay. Union Hangars dropped again as well, and there's a bunch more. Fair enough. So yeah, there's some pretty spooky stuff going down here. We can go through it when we look at it. They say they're being cautious because they don't want to insert a poison pill in the form of an accident. This cooling path is more aggressive, so we're being aggressively cautious. I like that they're being aggressive with these unpointings because it's good to try to keep the pointless trimmed down where it's possible. Starting off aggressive, all right. Big welcome labyrinth to 15. This was already, I think, decreased some time ago, I believe. People were already trying out labyrinth last format in my experience, so dropping to 15, reasonable. This is still probably too much, but it's not like the deck is unplayable right now, so change of heart to 3, sure, I like it. Inclusion to 20, Sulfur Door to 3. I don't know much about Crystron to really say much about that. Darkened Evaporation to 0. Interesting indeed. I think this is good for Dragon Rulers, maybe, but I don't know if a lot of Dragon Rulers players were necessarily running this in the first place. Dunlong to 10. Okay. Lab got 4th at WCQ from what you heard. Oh wow. Before even this point update, huh? Yeah, I mean, I thought the deck was really already playable based on what I've seen before this point update, so this is definitely pleasant for the Labyrinth players. Diagram to 10. I don't think anyone will be playing True Draco, so you don't have to worry about this one. Don't get me wrong, though. Diagram is still an insane card. That's like a modern quality field spell, but I don't think anyone's playing True Draco regardless, so. Dragon Maid Tiding to 1. And Dragon's Light and... Oh, I forgot about Dragon Maid, true. So I guess that helps Dragon Maid a little bit. Dragon's Light and Dark to 1, sure. That helps... Is this the one that Blue Eyes runs? I think Blue Eyes can run this. So yeah, that helps Blue Eyes a little bit. Alright, and then Duality to 1. That's pretty spooky, but it's not like people were playing it to begin with, so it's fine. Failure Regis to 7. I was surprised that they increased this some time ago. I didn't really feel like this was a problem. That like unnecessarily hurt Dragon Maid. And I think they were hitting this because of Dracotail at the time, but why not just hit Dracotail directly? It's beyond me. Fire King Courtier Volcanics to 15. Bullish Barrel to 25. This is a good move in the down direction, but I don't think people are going to play this card still. Although it is cool that you can play 3 Foolish Burial now and still have enough points. You still have 25 points left. That's pretty cool, like just conceptually. But I don't think people will really play this still. Chalice to 1, Lance to 1. I was talking about this actually not long ago. Let me see if I can pull up the tweet. I just want to pull it up for you know, proof that I had mentioned this some time ago that the forbidden quick plays can come down. Ah, darn it. I don't know if I can find it quickly. Yeah, nah, it's okay. But yeah, I mentioned that I thought the forbidden quick plays can come down and people will probably still not play them. But at one point, you know, you got my attention. I think Chalice is sideable at one point, even main deckable probably. I mean, it's not the best card still. But it is a non-engine that you can use to partially break a board if an inboard piece is targetable. I think people will play Chalice at one point. I do think people will play it. Lance at one point is a trickier one. This card is usually used to dodge interaction, and especially this card can be used to dodge board breakers for the player going first. But for going second even, it can still help with that type of thing. But it's not as common for it to be able to fulfill that purpose. So I am very interested in whether people will play both of these more. I definitely think people will play Chalice at one point. Lance is like, I'm not sure, but I'd be interested in people playing it. I'm going to be trying out Lance myself for sure. Gigantic Sprite at 7. I don't think it matters. No one's playing Sprite anyway. Global to 15, sure. Goblin Biker Big Gabong to 12, really? Is this wise? Is this wise? Anyway, Guardian Chimera to 20, sure. No one's playing it. Infinite Imperm to 11. I don't like this, but no one's playing it anyway. And I think that won't change for it being at 11, but I also don't like the precedent that it's coming down. Because that is a good hand trap. So, yeah. All right, Kaiju Slumber to 0. This is the card I've been thinking about the most out of this section. It's funny that they put points on Gamma CL, but then they put Kaiju Slumber to 0. People will definitely play this at 0, by the way. Expect to see a lot of this card probably this format. You got to run some Kaijus in your deck, your main deck, to make it good. But it's not like people weren't doing that already, so that's not going to be a deterrent factor. Destroy as many monsters on the field as possible, then special summon in attack position 2 Kaiju monsters with different names from your deck, 1 on each side. They cannot change their battle positions and must attack if able. And then you can add a Kaiju on its other effect from deck to hand. Super good card. Super good card. Can you believe that this card was at 33 points in the early Genesis point list? It's pretty funny. And now it's at 0. I think this card will see a lot of play. I'm glad I got my Kaiju Slumbers already, so I'm going to be trying that out. Iron Thunder to 3. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. It's a do we really want to see counter traps played more? I don't think so. And speaking of counter traps, Gravity Collapse is not on here, so yikes. Popularity this, popularity that. Lyrilusk Bird Call to 5. Lyrilusk Sapphire Swallow to 3. Turquoise Warbler to 3. I'm not familiar with these enough to make a comment on them. Magician Souls to 10. They actually misspelled Magician Souls, funny enough, so I don't even know. Yeah, this is actually not how it's spelled. It's supposed to be magicians, like multiple magicians. Souls. To 10. Yeah, fair enough, I guess. 15 was definitely pretty aggressive when they did that point update some time ago. They're trying to address like cards that give too much advantage, but the decks that were using them were like who cares if this deck gets advantage? Like it's whatever. It's not like that deck was popular or good at the time anyway. Like the philosophies have changed very clearly over the time. Like the people that were involved in the early Genesis points list don't seem to be the same as the ones we have right now. Like, or I mean, maybe they are the same, but clearly the philosophy is different. And I guess they did mention that it would be different because they mentioned that it would be more based on popularity now, but it's just such a disappointment still. Sigma to 5. I mean, okay, anyway. Metamorphosis to 3. Yeah, whatever. Monster Reborn to 3. No one's playing Monster Reborn. I'm sorry. Nash Knight to 13. No comment. Nash Knight's a scary card, but I don't think 13 is gonna change anything really. Necrovalley to 25. This one I've been thinking about too. Could be scary. Could be scary. I mean, no one's gonna be like just splashing this in their deck, but you know, a Necrovalley strategy is still pretty spooky because that is a floodgate. Like, it is a strong floodgate at that. So, could be interesting, but it's not like mini decks can really abuse it, so it's probably not going to be that big of a deal. Nightmare Throne to 13, Phantom of Bell to 88. Sure. I I don't know much about the context behind this to really say much, but I checked quickly, and I guess there's like some new cards coming out that are that somewhat involve this or something. But again, I'm not really familiar. I just like saw some small bits of conversation that people were having around these two cards. Pod Desires to 15, it doesn't matter. Premature Burial to 2. Yeah, I mean this is good for Dooms, but Dooms doesn't really need Premature Burial right now. Like, I mean, they can still use it, obviously. Like, they won't say no, but they don't really need it as much. And interestingly, Dooms didn't get any hits on this list, so I wonder if Dooms will become like a popular deck now. We'll see. Airlifter to 3, Preventer to 7. Okay, whatever. No one's playing those cards. Return to the Different Dimension to 20. Oh. Okay. Pretty spicy. Return of the Dragon Lords to 3 from 7. What? Wasn't this just like the Monster Reborn? What? Yeah, this is just like a Monster Reborn. Like, what's scary about this card? Okay, Ritual Beast, Tamer Elder to 3. I'm not familiar with this card. Smoke Signal to 20. No one's playing this still. Snatch Steel to 2. Sure. Sorcerer Emergence to 7. Chi Xiao to 10. Long Yuan to 1. I think Sword Soul is going to need a bit more to be playable, but this is definitely the right direction, I guess. Hyper Liberian to 20. Whatever. Ashuna to 0. Dude, why were 10Us even pointed in the first place? Like, there's no Link monsters. Like, okay, they haven't updated it, but yeah, why was this pointed to begin with? Union Hanger to 5. Oh, okay, I see. They weren't joking about that one. All right, Virtual World, My Hime Lulu to 0, and Welcome Labyrinth to 15. Okay, I mean, yeah, not much else to say beyond the individual comments I gave. I hope they continue to drop the points and stuff that's rotting on the list. Like, Smoke Signal could be 5, and I don't think people are... Okay, you know what? If it's 5, I think people would play it in 6am. I've gotten a little bit of agenda there, but at the same time, 6am is not... I don't think 6am is that something you need to be that concerned with, because like, if people wanted to play 6ams, they would already be playing it right now with all the, like, you know, I think the Monster Negate is 10, and then it's something like that. It's like Monster Negate's 10, Xian's 5. No, they're both 10. So, okay, 20 points there. I mean, people would already be playing this deck if they wanted to, I feel like. Like, I don't think 20 points is that big of a deal. And the deck's not that good. There's no one-card starters. It's so easy to stop the deck from doing anything when it goes second. Why is E-Call free if Smoke Signal's pointed? Yeah, exactly. Heroes is a way better deck right now than 6am. Way better deck. That is a great point you make there. I guess they're just scared of 6am putting negates on the board, which is fair. I mean, those negates are kind of obnoxious, but they've already pointed the negates. They pointed Xian to 10, and they pointed Legendary Lord to 10. That's fine. I have no issues with that. They don't really need to point anything else, to be honest. Okay, Great Shogun maybe as well. You can point that one. That's the one that limits your opponent to 1 spell trap per turn. Oh, speaking of which... Oh, no, wait, no. Cooltoon's hit. Oh, I was going to say, speaking of which, Rose Whip is not pointed on here, but Cooltoon got nuked, so maybe that doesn't matter. I would hope, at least. But I'm surprised they still didn't hit Rose Whip. Can you believe it, guys? Like, you can play Rose Whip in Genesis, but not in Advanced. That's unbelievable. Okay, they don't want to do changes based on data from OTS. Sure, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, Chaos Origins and Battles of Legends Glorious Gallery is coming up. So that's the 25th. So we might be back here talking about this a little bit on the 25th. Otherwise, folks, I think that's all there is to talk about. Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm disappointed. A lot of stuff that's missing from here, and a lot of stuff I don't think that got adequately pointed. we still don't see a lot of floodgates on here. Defissure at 10 is definitely the right direction, but I don't know if it's enough. It just for the precedent in terms of their original philosophy, I don't think defissure to 10 is appropriate. And Macrocosmos is not on here either. We already mentioned poisonous winds, soundproofed, mask of restrict, like all these terrible floodgates that should just be at 100 because, you know, they've already set the precedent for terrible floodgates being at 100. So I don't know why they're not putting the other ones on there. Gravity clasp as well. Yeah, disappointing. On the other hand, definitely some solid changes still. Not entirely, but at least there is some good in here. It's not all bad. And I'm definitely excited to see what people do with like Chalice Lance and Kaiju Slumber. I think those will be influential cards potentially for going second. I'll definitely be playing them personally. I don't know what other people will do, but I'm curious to see. Yeah. Yepers. I'm mad about the Dark Lord stuff, but I guess I'm not gonna give up. But I'm just so sad, dude. Like the branded Dark Lords is such a tight list with points already. I can barely run non-engine in that deck, and now I don't even know if I can run non-engine at all. I'm not even sure if I can still run the deck, to be honest, because I do need the 3 Jehudi. Because you have so many ways to discard in that deck. I really need 3 Jehudi. And I'm running 3 Ixchel right now, and that was already like a tough thing to fit in. So Ixchel being 2 more points each is pretty brutal. I guess I'll just be playing Fairy Tale Charmers because they didn't hit that deck at all. No one's playing Fairy Tale because it's not popular. But I'll accept it. 0 points for the engine. I can play whatever I want. Alright. So let's switch over to Afterimage speedruns. Give me a moment for that though. I need to like set up stuff for that because I don't have everything set up right now. So it'll probably take like 5 minutes. So I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, folks, I'm back. Thanks for waiting. Let me just get the Twitch stream up and then we'll get started. Yeah, Mirror's Edge music is amazing. I fell in love with it all over again after we played Catalyst last year. Pretty awesome. Yeah, I enjoy Catalyst. You played a bit of it, but didn't see it through. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I do think the ideas weren't leveraged to the full extent they could have been, especially with the combat. But I did like it more than the original Mirror's Edge, to my own surprise. I just like that it wasn't constricted to like the strict, you know, level-oriented nature that the first game was. But I think the first game maybe has the first game is like a bit more pure in its ideas, and the second game feels like it was kind of held back by maybe AAA isms to some degree, you know? That's how I feel. Yeah. But I enjoyed Catalyst a lot. I've mentioned this before, but you know, it's easy to satisfy me if the music is wonderful. Very much affected by AAA isms. Yeah. Okie doke. Oh, I did not mean to hit start. So I was doing some offline practice after the stream yesterday. So yeah, I'm still going forward with the new mysterious bombs that we're getting in this run, but aside from that, I don't think I'll make other changes. Not to the dues especially, because I think the dues are tight enough where having 500 left over is not a big deal. It's not worth the stress. Oh yeah, true. Both of you are here. Yeah, do you, let me know if... Actually, no, you're right. I could just talk about stuff right now. And that'll make it smoother for Wednesday. Won't be here for too long, unfortunately. Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I know it's pretty late for you, so... Yeah. Yeah, maybe... Yeah, I'll just reserve the talking for Wednesday, if that works for both of you. Oh no, for sure, yeah. Time zones, yep. Time zones indeed. always the fun killer. So I've got a couple of different comparisons up right now. I've got a segment timer just to see how long each segment's taking. And that will be easier to measure good segments and bad segments. And then I can get an idea of, you know, for example, how long a good guider fight takes more easily, rather than having to time it individually when I did practice attempts on my own long time ago. And we also got the average segment comparison, so it'll compare each individual segment's average rather than the average as a whole. It's been a while since I've been to Canada. Long time ago. Yeah, the US has a lot of nonsense going on. World Cup, true. That too. Oh my goodness. The World Cup starts this Thursday. Crazy how quickly that's come. A lot of that time lost was from the bird incident, so oof. Oh yeah. Yeah. Does Philly have some good games, or did you get the scraps like we did in NorCal? Oh yeah, the tickets are way overpriced. Same thing over here. That's just FIFA being extremely funny. Thanks for good luck, 7 off. We're doing well. Yeah, I was looking more into the unrestricted stuff on Android last night. Not very comforting findings, to say the least, but nothing I can say super conclusively yet. So, I'm not trying to jump the gun on anything leaderboards related right now. Saw this post? Yeah. Yeah, to say the least, the game's absolutely broken. I'm sure that's something all of us already knew, though. Right? For mobile, though, it seems like they just didn't even put the same things in the game. Like, they just arbitrarily decided to remove, like, a lot of features of the world, like objects and hazards and stuff. Like, I think there are even some enemies missing that were normally in some spots, but I can't remember exactly the spots right now. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. But to my surprise, controller worked like perfectly fine, so to some degree it is still a port, probably. Yeah. The spinny hazards, like in the Holy Grounds traversal. I always remember those ones because it's a specific cycle that you want to hit when you're doing that traversal, like, you know, in any ordinary run that goes there. But on mobile, you just don't need to worry about that at all. Just crazy. And then also mobile's wall jump priority for when you have both double jump and wall jump and you're near a wall, it just works completely differently. Just baffling. Okay, this split was okay. It could have been better, but I think it should be better than my average, yeah. My PB's loss split is just insane, so I'm not beating that anytime soon. Yeah, thanks, Rama. Yeah, that's why I like having the average splits there, because I know, like, you know, if I know I'm not going to beat the PB anytime soon, then there's no point just comparing to PB every time, you know. I need to see if I'm making any progress, at least run to run. Now, on the other hand, because, you know, deaths cost a lot of time, the averages are going to be all over the place, especially since I don't have a lot of runs right now, so hopefully that encourages me to try to get some more runs in for more data. Oh dear. You should be okay. So true, new addition to the splits? Yeah. I got the idea from watching some Super Metroid runners of late. They have like a lot of information on their splits, and I'm like, some of that information might be of use for me. Do we allow the PC Android start? Or not yet until we figure it out? Or strat, you mean? Or maybe I'm not understanding. Can you rephrase that? Oh, I gotcha. So, it's allowed. It's allowed for unrestricted. Of course, not for restricted, but yeah, it's allowed for unrestricted for the time being. Unrestricted will pretty much allow anything, as long as it's not like. Okay, I shouldn't say allow anything, but we'll allow like almost everything. And then, you know, later on, if we figure out that we need a category split or something like that, then we can figure that out, you know. Nice crit. But yeah, I'm not going to jump the gun on category split right now, because we still don't really know that much about it. And if it's just Shishin doing runs, there's not really any reason to say that, oh, Shishin shouldn't be allowed to submit his runs or something like that. It's pointless. And I've already been able to replicate everything that Shishin's done on Android, so it's not like there's funny business going on there. But I will say Android is definitely a broken mess. Like, and probably the same for iOS. I haven't tried iOS yet, but I have the iOS version as well. The only thing you've gotten most out of your testing is that a higher chance to work on game restart. Oh, interesting. Do you mean like relaunching the game entirely? Or do you mean like quitting the main menu and then reloading the save file? Relaunch? Wow. Huh. Yeah, that's not out of the ordinary, but that's also concerning for sure. Well, I'm not losing too much time on these last couple splits, but the early game was not good, so I'm being punished for that. The problem now is that no scythe for dashing. Yeah, that's true. Yep, the movement's gonna be way slower. No slide either. Well, let me think about that one. You can do the rapid dash canceling with any weapon skill. So you just gotta find like another weapon skill to apply. But obviously Scythe is definitely an easier one to use. Yeah, it needs to be a low-level skill, exactly. I guess that's the limiting factor. Hey, what's up? Nice streams. You're pretty good. You've played this game before. Oh my goodness. True. This is a true end run? Not true end, no. It's just like the bad ending for... is it the bad ending? I don't actually know. But it's like one of the endings for Ifri. You do need this ending for true ending though, I believe. Azuar can confirm that, I think. It's actually a pretty good run so far. Okay, I'm gonna skip this stew though. This stew's been giving me problems, and also just hate dealing with these enemies. Huh? What was that, man? I'm gonna have to just kill these enemies. I got like a wall stick and then... Yeah, thanks for good luck. I got like a wall stick and then... input lockout or whatever. I hate dealing with the octopus. As a casual, what's my favorite weapon? Weapon class? Probably dual blades. The good ending is where you back out and come back. Yeah, it's like where you contemplate, right? I was trying to avoid that, but I couldn't like precision walk out of the way in time. It's so annoying. Yeah, it was an okay split now. It was a good split, but then some things happened. Fighting in the fog? Yeah, it's not as bad as it might look. Well, okay, they actually made it better. Because in the past, the fog used to be actually pretty hard to see through, but there was an update where they didn't list the change in the patch notes, but they made it easier to see in the fog for some reason. Or I wonder if it's like has to do with drivers though. But yeah. It was a similar thing that happened with the Whispering Force, like color tint. They made the color tint different, and you can see the original color tint still on the mobile version. It's pretty funny. Okay, I'm gonna focus up. Never mind. Well, what can you do? Could have done that in a faster way, but it's fine. Oh, you played the original Day One game. Oh, wow. Oh, nice. Yeah, if they're two great swords, then yeah, it should be doable. Yeah, you just use one of the great sword weapon skills. I think with great sword, it should still be pretty easy to dash cancel. Rapid dash cancel. Better, huh? Interesting. Yeah, I did not play on launch, unfortunately, so I'm not very familiar with it. Bruh. It's boss. It's boss, man. You can't react to that, by the way. You just gotta hope he doesn't do it. But I always stand on the left side because you get a better initial pattern on the left side. Like when he does the jump into like the triple orbs, the spot where you can stand in for safety while still attacking him is much easier. But I don't know. This boss is still whack sometimes. Just don't stand near him. Streamer. Yeah, nothing I can do about that. Oh my goodness. See, if I were on the other side, I would have gotten hit and just died. And I'm dead. 'Cause I couldn't kill him. Physical version, you see how broke it is without updates? It's not day one, it's straight up unfinished. Oh, huh. Interesting. GG. Chop was coming as soon as I committed to the right side. I should have just committed to killing him, man. Like, wouldn't have had to deal with this nonsense if I killed him. I should probably just use a potion on this boss, though. I mean, I don't know. Like, even if you use a potion, you just lose so much time if he does a unfavorable pattern. No, you can leave it till later, but you lose time if you leave it till later. Yeah, too unoptimal. I thought about it, but you really want to get it on the way because it lets you break the dues quickly from there on, and you don't have to backtrack to come and fight him and then, you know, have to go back to doing whatever you were doing. Because think about it, right? Like, basically, if you leave him for later, you're going up to the tree that's near him, and then you're going manually back down, and then you'd have to go up to the tree again. Like, theoretically, that's nice for, you know, the fact that you can just fight him later, but... And, you know, maybe kill him more easily when you fight him later, but I don't know if it's worth the time investment. from what I can tell. Yeah, I've thought about it though. Like, I really don't like fighting him early because it's just an unstable fight. Bruh. I can still tank Guardian, but it's annoying. Yeah, exactly. Ancillary benefit of breaking the dues. Yep. Speaking of ancillary benefit, I'm gonna grab this time. I've been noticing that I've spent too long on glyphs later on in the run, so I think getting this actually lets me spend less time on glyphs, like time cost wise. AI viewers. I can't ban the user because it'll pause the game, sadly. Just you and Robbo. Just me and Robbo. You watch run this. Oh yeah, thank you. You know, there's a couple other runners that run this from time to time. But I think, you know, as more people see the game, hopefully more people end up checking out the speedrun. Let's see, let me catch up on the messages. Yeah, there are definitely some weapon options. Give them a look. We only did the scythe because you can get it like almost immediately for the older route on unrestricted, but that shouldn't have to be the only one you do. You grab all the echoes in the archives. Oh, you're talking about Xeno Watcher. Yeah. Yeah, I think killing him on the way is significantly faster, but obviously super annoying. Yeah, Scythe is ideal for crouch canceling, exactly. Just too good of a speedrun weapon. There are other weapon exploits that are better, but guess what? It's still with the Scythe. Speed, DPS, and style, what more could you ask for real? Should not be getting these echoes, to be honest, but whatever. At least if I get randomly hit somewhere, then good full heal for the level up. Oh, you forgot reach? Yeah. Reach is a big deal as well. For the scythe being good. I never equipped the... I'm like, why is my damage so low? That is time lost, sadly. My favorite character. I like Karsa. I also like 42. That was sketch. You were messing. You like the mushroom NPC? Yeah, the mushroom NPC is cute. Can give me? Yeah, I remember. I hate when that happens. That's why I don't like picking up the sub weapon, to be honest, but you know, I just gotta use a different button, I guess. Getting through this section is so annoying. Dive kick doesn't exist? Dive kick doesn't exist? Comes out when you don't want it to happen and doesn't come out when you want it to happen. Oh, I'm like removing the like echo text or the pickup screen with cancel when I should just be using confirm. Like I'm not using confirm because it jumps, right, if you mash it, but it's not a big deal. Like you just press it once and you're fine. But I'm just being, yeah, I'm just being stubborn, I guess. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the lurk. Appreciate it. Nice streams. And thank you for your good luck. Yeah, the VODs are all on YouTube, so check them out at your leisure. I've not done a good job with playlist for the Afterimage stuff, but I think there should be playlist for the Afterimage, for most of the Afterimage VODs as well. Does Android just not get resting potions? You get the one after loss. Actually, no, you just... Yeah, I know for sure you get the one after loss. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for the follow. YouTube is where it's at. But yeah, you don't get to buy the ones from Alice, I guess. Gotta sell these. Oh yeah, no problem. Thanks for hanging out, as work. And thanks for good luck. Catch you later. How could we forget Stanley? Go to NPC. Might not work then, you're one short. Yeah, check Demagen's map to see if there's any extra resting potions. They're actually like a surprising amount just available laying around, but I'm not sure how accessible they would be in any percent. That's why I don't dive kick. Don't dive kick, don't dive kick. I've not seen that attack in a while. I forgot, yeah. In phase 2, you can't really punish that. I got hit after he died, by the way. After he died. I thought that's the whole point of the black screen. Yeah, dude. So... I don't know if Armless is happening anytime soon for this category. I mean, it already isn't happening because of the soft lock at Agus, but... Or a kill, sorry, a kill. But yeah. If anyone wants to do Armorless for this category, be my guest. Agus is a cheater, yeah. Yep, thanks, Robbo. Yeah, I've gotten much better at that fight than in the past. Feels good. Cool fight? Yeah, I know, right? Oh, almost hit confirm on Rubywood Desert. Wouldn't be run dead, but you'd lose like probably over 30 seconds. Nah, surely more than 30 seconds, yeah. But yeah, that would be really bad. Quit out, but you don't get a checkpoint here. It's not like the clammy. It's not like the manta ray. You don't get a checkpoint here, so you just go back to like whatever last tree you used. Yeah, it's because it doesn't like do like a. It doesn't do like the water loading screen, so I guess that's why you don't get a checkpoint. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was trying to dash, but I think it's because I already used my dash action. That's a specifically very troll ground break that you have to do. And by the way, this shortcut is the only reason why you need ground break for this whole run. If any of you are wondering. Well, it's not the only reason, but it is like the reason. We also use ground break for upper scorchware, but this is like the main thing that we need ground break for in this run. Oh wow. What? Huh? I was gonna say, oh wow, it didn't do that pattern, and then it decided to do it like as a mix-up. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be so funny if I did it actually one attack later instead of when I normally do it? Like, oh my goodness, man. What do we need? Just this, right? Well, we saved time over PB? That's crazy. I mean, that was a fast fight, to be fair. That's gonna be some time loss. Oh no, save time. Wow. Okay. Huh. I am ahead of my average right now, somehow. Yeah, maybe I'm just gonna go back to equipping Boots of Secret. I've had farms go like this pretty consistently now, like taking 2 or 3 cycles. So maybe I'll just equip the Boots of Secret again and see if that changes anything. I got the slow super jump. No. Okay, we're good. Oh, the bird didn't despawn. That sucks. Hey, what's up? Nice streams on YouTube. Hype. How did I get hit by that? Use the secret gear for 90% of your playthrough because you always go for 100%. It makes things a little harder. Secret gear? Which secret gear are you talking about? Wow, now I'm gonna yup. So yeah, I don't know. Is it just random? It's disheartening if so. Wow. Dude, that pause was like, if it was any later, then I would have died. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. The secret boots. Oh, I gotcha. Extra drop rate. Yeah, I gotcha now. Why did I get pushed back so much? What? Maybe I should just wear the boots of secret. Maybe it does something and I'm just going crazy. I just hate going in the menu to put it on, you know? Okay, well, that is that a coincidence or did it do something? I'll never know. It's sus that as soon as I put it on, I got it, you know? Just saying, just saying. Oh yeah, nice streams. In the YouTube chat, make sure to keep your language clean. I appreciate it. Oh, I pressed LB. I was like, why didn't I get a super jump? And that was why. Yeah, I know why now. Silly me. Oh yeah, this broken game barely works sometimes. Oh, an hemagram again. That hit me, dude. That's insane. Game just works. What can I say? Okay, that was better than the last run we did. PC's not beating Android time-wise, tragic. Ah, yeah. Did you find a way though? I mean, to me, it's perfectly fine for one platform to be more optimal than the other. Not an unusual thing. It's just that, I guess, how different is the game, right? Huh? What kind of lockout was that? Is it because of the sub-weapon? I think it's because of the sub-weapon. Dude, I hate that. Oh, you lose time by not being able to skip Devil? Yeah. Because, I mean, that's like touchscreen only, right? Basically, is what we're understanding right now. Dude, come on. Oh, do I have the wrong... No, I do have the right boots on. So I don't know why I'm taking billion damage. Thanks for the level up. I am grateful. Yeah, at the end it was good. Maybe not the entirety of it, but at the end it was good at least. Yeah, don't worry. Just if you're drunk, enjoy yourself. But you know, you gotta tame your language still. That doesn't change you. That doesn't change the rules that I have here. Yeah, I was too close to the center. That's what happens when you're too close to the center. Unless you find a PC way Android only for now. Yeah. No, but I mean, you can still... Like, yeah, I mean, those type of things... Those type of things aren't completely out of the ordinary. Hey, what's up, Jammer? How's it going? Those kind of things aren't completely out of the ordinary, in my opinion. Especially in other games. I mean, I'm not saying because other games have that type of thing, it's okay. But, you know, I don't think it's too big of a deal that it's Android only. I mean, obviously, if we want to do a category split, we can do that. But, yeah. You don't mind either we definitely need a platform skip. Platform split? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, at the time the mobile was added to the leaderboards, it was just like some person that asked for it. And like I wasn't mod at the time of the SOC leaderboards, right? So I think Arcalena and Trash Laproche just added it, you know? But we didn't really do any research, so we just assumed it was gonna be the same. But it's clear that it's not actually the same, so. All right, 103. Thanks for the GGs. You don't have your wolf emotes on YouTube? Yeah, sorry. Those wolf emotes are super nice, by the way. That's awesome. All right, let's go again. Thanks for GGs. New route? Uh-oh. See me drop to oust. Oh. What? I'm curious what the route would involve for oust to be the main point of interest. Oh, I see. I did that wrong. It's okay. This should still be good. Let's fight. Get the resting potion in Ashen Canyon? Cut out 2 bosses in the Manta Ray section so it should save time. Would this be for unrestricted? Or is this for restricted you're talking about? Oh, I forgot to go up. Oops. It should be okay. Unrestricted. Oh, okay, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Dude, the crit. It ate part of my jump, so it made me jump shorter than I would have otherwise. Because otherwise I would have been able to clear the arrow just barely. Wow, we're ahead of PB. That's crazy. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, oh no, we shouldn't be ahead because I didn't get the RP. Yeah, so this is fake. Maybe this is faster overall, though. Yeah, that's an idea. What? I didn't expect to land. I landed by like the tippy toes.
Okay, it's probably faster because we didn't lose that much time. Like, that was a good split, and I'm sure I did do part of the field of geo movement badly, but if that's the source of the time loss, that means the time loss from speaking to Alice again is not substantial enough to make it worse than going out of the way for that RP on the elevator. So I'll probably start doing this. Well, I guess we got to see if we have enough dues going forward, but yeah, we should still. I don't think we're spending all of our dues at once at any point in the run, apart from the first time we purchased RPs from Alice. Iron sight upgrades are a little costly. Yeah. But we are getting more dues than what any percent would get by this point of the run, right? So that looked like the RP is gettable unrestricted save. Oh. Oh ho ho ho. Okay. Yeah. I think I'll be fine on the money. Thank you, Aus. My goat. And the drops were nicely scattered as well. This is a potential run. I mean, I'm not expecting a PB or anything, but hey, this is the closest I've been to PB in ages, so. I was behaving tonight? Yeah, for real. Wow. It really is that tight of do routing, huh? Insane. Both good thing and a bad thing. It's not a big deal, because we're not really using it for anything profound right now, but yeah. I don't equip it yet. Really? Oh, I think... Yeah, I think I was pressing sides button too late. What a ridiculous teleport location. I've literally never seen it teleport there. Imagine if I died from that. Classic. Wow. It's too far away from it, probably. Yikes, boss. Yikes, boss. Yep, take care, Robbo. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you in a bit. Thanks for the good luck as well. Oh, I said in a bit. It's not Tuesday right now. Yeah, but catch you next time. Lame. No. Well, we're almost ahead somehow. Apparently my PB has 20 seconds to save on Silent Coast. That's crazy. I got a wall stick instead of a jump. Bah. It could have been slightly better, but it was still okay. Ugh. Baffling. Well, I guess we're losing a little time from the mysterious bomb. So that's time. Yeah, that should be definitely faster than Silent Coast. Because we're saving way more time in Silent Coast right now. Yeah, Greatsword is not sub-weapon cancelable as far as I know, yeah. Empty weapon cancelable. That's definitely a weird bug. That's like one of the weirdest bugs that exist in the game. I'm shocked people found that. Yeah, that sucked at the end, but oh well, what can you do? Bro. You need to do a full run and see how it goes. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, can you not? Yeah. Classic shenanigans. Yo, this pattern. Let's go. Chroma's been super nice lately. The 1 second gold. Let's go. The solution is the wall slide impact stuff. You cannot get it all. And clip straight to God's Hall. Oh my goodness. Wait, so what would the route be like? So you're saying you want to go to Ashen Canyon for a resting potion? What would the rest of the route be like? Ooh. Come on. Nice. Oh, wait, how do I not have enough? Well, there's another spot. It's not a big deal, but huh. That is concerning. Oh yeah, I was trying to read through it. I couldn't understand it, so I'll probably take a look again after the run. I don't think that's it. Nope. Nope. The shine looks similar, but it's not quite the drop. Yeah, bad farm. Ash and RP and do the normal unrestricted stuff. Oh, so the stuff that is already being done, or is it? Or are you talking about the route that Shishin had? Gonna do this. Oh, almost used the potion on accident. Also, yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is definitely the favorable cycle. I'll just wait here. I could have made it, but it wouldn't have been that much different time-wise. What? It didn't die? Wait, that one didn't die either. What the? is this happen? See, it worked there. I don't know why sometimes the double jump's like, oh, you double jumped, so you're not gonna get let through. And sometimes it just lets me through still. Yep, RNG strikes again. Yep. Time loss because those ghosts keep leaving me. Okay, that input lockout just seems to happen sometimes, even if I don't have the shield applied. It's weird. Oh, I didn't see that it was there. Man, that was gonna be so good. I mean, I went at PB regardless, but hey, what's up, Rapro? That is buying the input playback. Yeah, that's on purpose. The inputs are more important than me, so I hope that's okay. Oh, they didn't go away. That's annoying. Yeah, I didn't jump high enough. Okay, the solution is to get the wall instant stuff, wall slide instant stuff. You cannot get it all and just clip straight to God's Hall. Test the instant memes and see if they're usable. Yeah, Blade's instant move is it's definitely usable, but the problem is you need like a high enough level. And I think the only way to do that is if like you do the Trial of Soul stuff that Tam was messing with some time ago. Like you load in like a Renee's loadout or something from Trial of Soul, and it's like super high level. So I think that would work, but how are you gonna do that in like a reasonable amount of time? Because I think the main way to set it up before was with the guider, but then you might also like change like the save. I don't remember exactly how it works, to be honest. So, but Tam's a good person to ask for that. Man, that first attempt is gonna be so good. I'm mad. Shishin does oust into what restricted does. Your idea will be to cut out all of that by getting the Ashen RP. Oh, yeah, okay, I gotcha. You only know the guider method. Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with that glitch to be able to describe it, but yeah, there should be information in the Discord server somewhere. Oops, that was not how you're supposed to do that. Bruh. Ah, I'm on the wrong side. But you still got a couple hits in. Oh, that did such little damage. Still saving time over PB. Well, this is a good run. Killed by the farms, and then killed even further by dying to the gauntlet. But certainly the best run I've done since the PB run. Yeah, this run is too hard. I was still 1 minute ahead of average overall, but yeah, it's gonna be too tough to climb back within sub 60 range without like significant routing changes, which is okay. I mean, that's how it is. Okay, did I miss anything? I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, I guess the dues slowed me down a little bit, but I can just look at where to adjust the collection to make sure I don't have a couple dues short when we're enhancing the iron scythe. Because I had like 20 dues short or something. Under 20. I think it was 17 to be exact. But yeah. Okay. We're going to call it there, folks. Thanks for watching. 2 runs in today. It's pretty good. Let's see. You saw what I meant? You did try that and it didn't seem possible? Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's like the main way I could think of to get fast levels. I can't really think of any other easy way. So yeah. Yeah, it's a tough tough thing to resolve. So okay. I'm gonna send those of you on Twitch over to someone. Let me see. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. See you all the next time.